And do biceps brachii first. I want to do biceps brachii first. We did this in shoulder on Tuesday, I believe, right? So biceps brachii, your forearm is supinated. You can find the muscle belly. You can find the tendon as it comes right down into the elbow. Hold here, don't let me move you. And I'm pushing down, making my patient flex, and I can feel this tendon. The reason I had you do that one first is because now I've got my finger on the tendon. Where is brachialis in relation to biceps brachii?
Deep.
It's deep. So now I'm going to go into that pronated position, okay? And I'm going to go on either side of that tendon. The biceps brachii muscle looks kind of like when you typically think of a muscle or draw a muscle where you kind of have like the wider muscle belly and then you come down to a tendon. Brachialis has a wider muscle belly that's going to extend a little bit more distal. So if you go on either side, on both sides of the tendon, with your patient in pronation, and then make them flex their elbow, you're going to feel brachialis. So how I want you to do biceps brachii is here. You can do the belly and the tendon, supinated. For brachialis, pronate, and do brachialis on either side of the tendon. Okay? Questions about those two?
So you want us to move off the tendon?
For brachialis, you
Brachialis.
have to go off the tendon, because if you stay on the tendon, you're not on brachialis. I won't give you credit if you stay on the tendon. You have to go to both sides of the tendon. So you find the tendon, go to both sides of it, and then have your patient pronate their forearm to do elbow, and then elbow flexion. Brachioradialis, thumb up. You're in this neutral forearm position. And if you resist elbow flexion, it's going to pop up right here. This is brachioradialis. Okay? Right here. Supinator. Supinator, lateral or medial?
Lateral.
Lateral. So you're going to find your patient's lateral epicondyle. Okay, my thumb is on the lateral epicondyle. Now this is the one that sometimes can get kind of hard to find. Okay, try this one on yourself. So find your lateral epicondyle, and you're gonna drop just kind of distal of it. And you're gonna kind of be in like a little like squish of muscle, okay? Now you've got, when your wrist, when we come back on Tuesday, we'll talk about your wrist extensors, right? So if you extend your wrist, you're gonna feel like some muscles kind of push up, right? Now I want you to try keeping your fingers there, kind of squishing a little bit deep, and I want you to try to supinate. Can you feel your supinator is a little bit deeper than your wrist extensor? So if you do your wrist extensors, you're gonna feel a really pronounced motion. If you don't feel, and then if you keep your wrist in neutral and supinate, you should feel a little bit of kind of like a contraction or a swelling right here. So here's my lateral epicondyle. I'm gonna come just off. I'm not on my head of my radius, so I'm kind of above it a little bit. And then I'm gonna do supination, and I can feel a little like light switch of a muscle when I'm doing supination. Okay? How you're gonna do this with your patient, you'll put the forearm in neutral, find lateral epicondyle, come a little bit off, and I should feel into like some muscle here. Now I need to make him go into supination. So I'm gonna say, hold, don't let me move you. And I'm pushing him into pronation. Because when I push him, let me move you. When I push him into pronation, if he says, if he's not gonna let me move it, he's supinating. Does that make sense? Okay, so don't let me move you. And I can feel that muscle right here under my thumb contract out, okay?
You do that again.
Ding, ding.
No.
Find your lateral epicondyle. You're gonna drop down, kind of into like some squish of a muscle. If you do wrist extension, you're gonna feel a really, really strong kind of contraction and push out. But if you go kind of like underneath what you just felt and you do supination, you should feel a little bit of a contraction, not as strong feeling potentially as when you did your wrist extension. That's going to be your supinator. Pronator Teres, where do I need to start? Medial epicondyle. So you're going to find medial epicondyle, and you know it's going to come down this way because it's going to be that medial border of our
fossa.
Cubital fossa. And its action is pronation. So if I find that, you can palpate it kind of at that, relax. You can palpate it at the medial epicondyle because it's going to insert there. You can also come down into like the muscle belly portion of it, and I want you to rotate your palm down. And I'm just going to feel that contraction right here. Okay, relax. If I was at the medial epicondyle, go ahead and rotate your palm down. I can still feel it, but it's a little bit more, to me, relax, is a little bit easier to find that medial epicondyle, draw that border line, and then come. Notice my fingers are in line with the muscle fibers, right? I'm not horizontal against them. I'm in line with them, so I have more of a chance to be correct and find the actual muscle, and it's gonna be easier for me to adjust if I'm not there enough, okay? I am palpating the medial collateral ligament. What's the other name for that?
UCL.
Ulnar collateral ligament, because the ulna's on the medial side, okay? It resists what type of force? And I'm wanting to know valgus or varus? A valgus force, right? So what you're gonna do is you're gonna find that medial epicondyle. The elbow is gonna be straight, can be have a little bit of a flexion. Notice how I'm kind of using like my trunk here as well. Find that medial epicondyle. My hand is supporting the lower arm. I've got my right hand here at the medial joint line, and my left hand, my right hand, my thumb is kind of at the outside of the upper arms, right? I need to create a valgus force. So this hand, my right hand is stabilizing. My left hand down at his forearm is going to create a little bit of a valgus force at his elbow. And what I'm doing is I'm intentionally putting a little bit of strain on that ulnar collateral ligament or that medial collateral ligament, and I feel it just like popping right out into my fingertips right here in the medial aspect of the elbow. So I'm putting a little valgus force. You okay?
Mm-hmm.
So you're just like stabilizing the humerus. That's
And
it.
moving the radius and ulna out to the side, creating a valgus force. Lateral collateral ligament, what's the other name for that? I will be doing a varus force. What's the other name? He's answering, he's like, talk quicker, gosh, darn it. Okay. Lateral collateral ligament. Radial collateral ligament. I'm at the lateral epicondyle. I come here, I'm supporting the forearm, I'm stabilizing the humerus, and I'm creating a Corey what force? Varus. And I'm feeling right here at that ligament, just getting taut and stretching right out into my hand, because I'm pushing the forearm in, and I'm stabilizing the humerus. Okay? So you can either be here and have your patient do elbow extension and palpate like the muscle belly. You can have your patient be in supine. This is how you test it. Supine with the arm like this, palpating. They do extension, right? You just palpate the muscle belly. You can have them be prone, arm off the table, palpate, have them extend, whichever one you want.